Hello my friend, welcome in a new tutorial. In the previous tutorial we talked about validation in general, but in this tutorial we talk about validation in details. In this tutorial we talk about how we can use a request form. Let me show you that. In this tutorial we will learn how to create request form, how to add validate rules, how to customizing error message, and how to redirect the user to the previous page with input. For creating request form, we will use this snip of code, this code PHP artist and make request, and here we set the name for this request. And how to add validation rules in the request form. Laravel create for us this function rules, and we will add our validation rules here in this array. And about the customizing error message, we will add our message we need to show or display to the user in this method message, and for redirecting the user to the previous page with input with data, previous data, we will use this code. We will add this code in the data form. Let me starting the work and go to the VS Code and create a new request form. Here I will add a new command line. I say PHP artisan make and request. I think request and add name for the for this project. We will add this name, store request and hit enter. As you know, as you can see here, they create for us a new request, HTTP controller, and here request. This is store request. The main point here we must focus on it. This authorized method return bool for us. It must be true. Very important, is true. In this request form, this class extended from request, Laravel provide for us this function rules. We can add our rules here. As you know, in the data form here, in the student controller, excuse me, we have these rules. We will copy these rules from here. Control C, and add in the request, store request. I will copy here, and integer. I here add some new rules here. For example, I add some new rules. I say by adding this splitter, and say main character. For example, 3 character, and here, for example, I add the new rules. I say string, and here I add the new rules. I say, excuse me, I say email type. Email must be email type. And here I add integer, this enough, for example. As you can see here, we add here required and main. Maybe add here, for example, max, also rules. Max character, for example, value 3 character. Okay, here we add our rules here, and true, change it from false to true. And now we need to create a new message. We can customize our message, which will be show to the user if the error happened when the user send data for our application. So here I say public function, we will name it message. S, very important, message. Okay, and message, and we will add collaborators. Here we will add our message, customized message for the our rules. For example, here I copy this from here. I copy this. No. I say, for example, first name, Control C. Here I say return for us. You can see here I copy this here. This our message. We are use the return array. So I come back to the here and say return for us array and semicolon here, and open the array and say example v first name, for example first name required dot required and add our message. Please, for example, please insert your first name. First name, for example. And we need to main maybe 3 characters. So I copy this from here, maybe add colon here, and copy this again, Control C, and paste it below. Control V. And here please insert at least three character. If I think it's character. Yes. Let me check this character. Copy this from here. I copy this, all this, for saving time. I will copy this, Control C, and go back to the VS Code, and here I pasted it here. You can see here first name, what happened here. Yes, return. This not needed. Okay, here first name required, this required. Please insert your first name, and also we have second rule, main character 3. So in this here we say send message for the user, say please insert in string type. If I can here add string, for example string, and display later. Yes, this string. Here we say please insert string character. Here first name, please first name must greater than 3 character, and here max, we add max for first name also. I add here max splitter max, for example, 3 character. And here, last name, please insert your last name, and required email, please insert your required your email. And also we need to email must be a email type. So email required, please insert email pattern, and age required, insert your age. And also we need to required must be integer. By this customizing message, we can here a customizing message for the user, and here we add all rule we have need: required, string, main, max, string, and email, integer, and more rules maybe we have added here. So for the third thing we talk about it here, how we can redirect user to the previous page with input. So I discuss this section after I add the store request to the store in the student controller. So I go back to the student controller here. I will comment it, control comment, it commented. Here we need to change these to store request. Store request. Store request. This store request here must be here. This store request. We have in this store request we have we add our rules, and we add customizing our message. By using the request form, we can create a clean code for our project. Here you can see here will be a student controller. We not need any here. From here I will delete it, and here we must be add a request validated here for control data validated data which user may be sent for us. So we say request and validated this and semicolon. By this validated, we will control data before it save it into our application. The remain how we can redirect the user to the previous page. We go to the data form here, data form, and in the value type we say value, and here we add this snip of code here. We say old and parentheses, and here name, add the name of this email, for example email. Control C and add email here. Control V. So I copy this for saving time. Control C and go above, and here first name. Here in the value, here I add value. Control V, I say first name. Delete first name. Precisely, Control C, Control V. What happened? Let me. First name. Email. Control C, and here I add this here. Control V, first name. And also I add last name, so I say Control. I will copy this from here, Control C, and edit it here, Control V, and change it to last name. Email we have remaining age, Control V, and we here add age, only just age. By this code, by this value code, we can return the previous data to the user when he make mistake and send for us error wrong data. We will return this old data by using the session. The session flashed all data when the user send it for us. So let me check if this work good or not. So I go back to the here to this table and added a new. For example, I send empty. Please insert your first name, last name. Okay. If I, for example, add the Maria, for example, Maria Taylor, any name you need, Taylor, and here email, for example, Maria, and add not anything. I send. You can see here, please email must be email pattern and the insert your age. Okay, inserted. If I add, for example, character, string character ASDF and send, you can see here it tell us you must enter integer character. Also, you can see here the data, previous data returned to the user, and he can see the previous data. So let me correct this. I say, for example, here at gmail.com, and for example, add for this, for example, 4025, for example. And you can see here Maria Gmail, he inserted 45, Maria Taylor, added here. You can see our work working fine. As you know, as you can see here, in this tutorial we tell about very details, we discuss very details about the validation. Here we added a snip of this code. By this code we can return the previous data which saved in session to the user, and here we create request form. By the request form we can create a clean code in our project and separate validation logic from the student controller, from the operation controller. Here we can add any rules we need for control or validate data which sent from the user, and here we can customizing our message to the user. You can add any message you want here. Thank you so much. Thank you for watching, and I hope it is useful to you. If this episode useful to you, please support us. God bless you and goodbye.